Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you're doing well. A lot of ex-Muslims and even Christians get very upset, apparently, when Muslims pray publicly in the street in the UK. And they want it to be banned. What I find quite disturbing about this is that they don't want prayer to be public. And I recall there was a Christian woman who was praying in front of an abortion clinic and she got arrested, and that was a big thing in the Christian community. So they're like, is it a crime to pray? And the police officer said that was harassment, that she was praying in front of the abortion clinic and she was just by herself. She was quite petite, not intimidating, and she was just simply praying. And people found that to be dystopian and authoritarian. Yet you see the hypocrisy when Muslim men are praying, they get highly offended. And what I think is beautiful about prayer publicly is that it encourages religiosity, it encourages men to behave better and reminds them of the hereafter. Because in California, you will see countless gangbangers in the streets, drug dealers. If you recall, I shared the news article where Gavin Newsom legalized loitering for prostitution, so he decriminalized it. So if a woman's in a miniskirt and high heels, she will not be questioned by police as to her presence there, what her purposes are, which effectively legalizes open prostitution by default. Just legalized loopholes, which is typical in a corrupt society. Further, Street People of Los Angeles has an account on Instagram, and others like his account, where he documents how many people are using drugs on public transportation and how many people get their drones and then they go and zoom in on women basically almost naked in high heels walking around and selling themselves on street corners and dilapidated neighborhoods. And when they see the drone, they start twerking. It's really quite disgusting. So there's open prostitution. And since liberals hate modesty culture and conservatives seem to be fighting Muslims wearing the niqab, and they don't want to have decency culture promoted as they claim they do, there is basically half-nude women walking around selling themselves. Further, in Oakland, I shared that story not too long ago, mothers and people in the community came together and said they didn't want the prostitutes being able to walk around their houses and sell themselves dressed like that. Mothers were pushing their stroller past prostitutes, and it was very disturbing. But apparently, the very far left, progressive, secular atheists find that type of behavior to be acceptable. And if you complain about having a drug-addicted, half-naked prostitute loitering around your property, well, you're just not progressive enough. So, there are many signs of the decay in California to make people wish that our only problem to worry about in the streets was prayer. Think about that. There's so much decay in America. You'll see things that you're just like, what is this? People pooping in the street. I can't tell you how many times, man. I've been driving on the way to the grocery store with my family, right? My husband's driving, and I'm in the passenger part, and there's someone peeing. Even when I walk with my stroller and the children, there's someone peeing, and my husband can yell at them, but I don't want him to get in a fight over someone peeing outside. But when you call the police officers will tell you there's not enough on dispatch, and we can't really come out for something like that. So effectively, public urination, which is disgusting and bad manners, is allowed in liberal streets. I find that to be way more offensive than public prayer. Think about all the disgusting things they promote. Buses, they promote fast food, delivery trucks I've showed you, they promote alcohol. How many people in America die because of drunk driving, liver failure, and kidney failure, because of alcoholism, babies born with fetal alcohol poisoning. Think about it. Alcohol causes so many problems. Yet that's allowed to be displayed publicly and encouraged, both on apps and on billboards, on buses, on delivery trucks, you name it. That's allowed. But if you want to pray in public, oh no, how dare you? How dare you? Just goes to show you how they really do want to just fight everything that is good. Men praying instead of hanging with their butt cracks out, slanging fentanyl, they're just offended by men worshiping their creator. I like it, I really do, to see men showing that they have presence in the community. People forget this. Drug dealers, cartel members, and gangbangers, they will control street blocks. Okay? When you have prostitutes with all their its and bits out, they're showing you they control the neighborhood, not the religious women. See, we have to show force and get those rats out of our communities. We should clear our midst of the vermin, of those who seek to turn our daughters into harlots, our sons into gangbangers and degenerates. We should clear them. Okay? You have to take back communities and promote the will of your Maker. Prayer is good. Prayer is necessary. That is what will reform the gutters of Babylon. If you are fighting against prayer in public more than you are about drug use on public transportation, open car theft, carjackings, all the daylight crimes that go on, you have a problem. There have been more and more attacks growing on women and children in the street. Think about that. It's not even safe for women to walk because of the crime. We need more police, but liberals, they don't want police. You can have an apartment in San Francisco, a homeless dude can set up shop right there. And how many fires are the homeless encampments starting? They're starting quite a lot. If you follow the right accounts on Instagram, you'll actually see people who take the time to document this, and liberals fight tooth and nail to get these accounts banned because it ruins their narrative about their philosophy and the fruits of their labor. Follow accounts like Street People of Los Angeles and those like them because they show you the truth about what's happening on the liberal utopia streets. Leaders in the Democrat leftist, spectrum. When you go to the atheistic route, there's more crime. They're soft on crime. They enable crime. In California, you can steal up to a certain amount and you won't be arrested. And this has led to looting gangs. It has led to Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid leaving San Francisco and leaving communities due to the crime and having to put everything behind lock and key. It has hurt business owners and the consumer, and they have made policies that they think are woke and liberal and soft and nice and cuddly for a culture where it's dog eat dog and take what you can get at all costs. So, seeing healthy, strong Muslims in the community who are praying in public, that is a good thing. Scare away the gangbangers. Scare away the degenerates. Whoever owns the streets owns the community. It's not just the United States government, right? You'll learn that quickly if you do a peaceful protest. You're on the sidewalk. You'll see quickly who owns the streets. In reality, the government will kick you off. You're doing a nonviolent, peaceful protest. You'll see. They'll shut down your little food cart, all that. So, when you see goodness in the streets, you shouldn't get mad at it. If it is goodness that you want. And yes, Muslim men have a lot more good to offer the community if they're upon their deen and they're obeying the rules of the Sharia. That is healthier for boys to see than people slinging drugs and carrying illegal Glocks at the basketball court and whatnot, or chilling in front of 7-Eleven, smoking blunts and Swisher Sweets. Really examine what these ex-Muslims and these atheists allow. To them, a woman prostituting herself is just fine in open public. But if men pray in public, now you've gone too far. What a sick personality. But may Allah preserve our brothers who pray in public. They're not afraid, but if it does become showboaty and the sheikhs, the scholars say, do something better, then I support that. My thing is people complaining about public prayer while liberals allow some of the most violent and disgusting things to occur on the streets. Just look at how in San Francisco people leave their back of the car open so that someone who's high on drugs doesn't smash their windows to steal some random thing that they can sell out of the car. You'd be surprised how many women and older people are afraid to go to certain gas stations, and why so many gas stations are behind bulletproof glass. People got to start waking up. Liberals are the last people who should be complaining about prayer in public in your secular atheist republic. Why don't you fix the crime in the streets and the homelessness, then start complaining about prayer in the streets?